Rob McGovern founded the pioneering job website CareerBuilder.com. Today, he's the CEO and founder of Jobfox, an online networking site for job seekers. And he joins us now in the studio. Welcome, Rob, to Fast Forward. It's such a pleasure to have you. And I got to start with, jobs are number one. It's the number one issue right now in our economy. But I think your personal story is so inspirational that we have to share that first, because you had a near fatal head-on collision right after you sold Career Builder. That was a huge business success for you, and I want you to tell us a little bit about it, because I read about you in a magazine, which was an absolutely courageous story. So why don't you set the stage?
Well, it really was the business trip from hell. That I was on a business trip, and I was going over the hill in a rental car, and a 16-year-old kid was passing someone illegally and hit me head on. And it was bad. It was a really bad accident. And
I think we have some pictures. We actually have, amazingly enough, still shots. You were on the phone at the time, right, with your right-hand person. And were you out working at Jobfox at that point?
Yes, and the odd thing was the phone must have been bouncing around the car. He not only heard the accident, but he heard the paramedics arrive, and he was sort of getting a blow-by-blow because the phone was laying in the car.
Right, and he heard the paramedics basically saying, this might be a person who doesn't make it. And even when you got into the hospital, you were out of harm's way, so to speak, in terms of critical. But the doctors had said to your family at the time that you'd be lucky to ever feed yourself again.
Yeah, I had a severe brain injury, and happily I'm one of these miracle people that heals from that. And I know how Congressman Gifford's family must feel, because my family really thought it was the end. And I was in a coma and all those bad things, but the good news is I'm a good healer.
Well, you make it sound really easy, but having read about your journey, you worked very, very hard. You went right back to Jobfox. You got back into the office. Tell us how you did that, and also how the accident and your healing process changed the way you think as a CEO.
Well, it really did involve trying to learn to think again, because after I was in the hospital for 6 months, I really couldn't think very well. And but I had really good therapy, and they taught me sort of how to reform those patterns. And it changed my life a little bit, because I'm one of these annoying people that goes to a cocktail party and there are 50 people. I remember every name. And I got back to work, I couldn't remember my employees' names. And so getting back into the groove of being a leader, it was different.
You had to find a very different way, obviously, to work, which I'm sure is how many of the people that are using Jobfox feel today. They kind of have to retool themselves. So tell me a little bit about the concept for Jobfox. What makes it, say, different than a Career Builder or many of the other online job sites out there?
Well, people call it social recruiting, and really what it is we help job seekers and recruiters network together and make connections. And as my kids say, I have teenage kids, that they say, "Dad, job listings are so yesterday," and they're right. The new way is connecting using social tools, and that's what Jobfox is. There's 7 million people using it, and it's really an explosive concept.
You have revenue right now, what, 10 to 15 million, or 15 to 20 million is where last year came in. Do you project growth like you had at Career Builder, or what are your hopes or plans as you go forward?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I personally, I'm the product builder. I think this is a better product and should do better. But Career Builder, I didn't build it in the middle of a recession. And so there are headwinds with the economy, tailwinds because the technology is really good. And we're growing 100% a year, and I think we can keep doing that for a while.
All right, Rob, we have to leave it there, unfortunately, but I do appreciate you coming in, appreciate you sharing your story and your outlook as a CEO with an online job site, of course. Thanks so much. That was Rob McGovern, CEO and founder of Jobfox.